Okay, let's unpack this. I want you to imagine a scenario for me.
Okay.
There's a new girl in school, just transferred in, and suddenly she is all anyone can talk about.
Right. The center of attention.
Totally. Everyone wants to know where she came from, who she hangs out with, what her deal is. But here's the funny thing. Nobody actually knows what she does.
That is, hands down, the best analogy I have ever heard for today's topic. Heart rate variability, or HRV.
The it girl metric.
Absolutely. It's the it girl of the entire health world right now.
It really is. I feel like we're living in this age of, I don't know, I call it biometric hypervigilance. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do.
You wake up, you roll over, and before you even look out the window, you're staring at your wrist.
You're checking the score.
Exactly. Your whip, your Oura Ring, your Apple Watch.
Yeah.
You see a number. Maybe it's 29. Maybe it's 150. And that number, for millions of people, it decides how you feel for the rest of the day.
It's a huge psychological anchor. You see a low number and you immediately spiral, am I getting sick or did I overtrain?
Or you go on Instagram and see some influencer with a score of 200 and you think, what am I doing wrong?
Why am I failing at being a human being?
It's this total black box. We are swimming in data, but we have almost zero context for what any of it means.
None.
So that is our mission for this deep dive. We are going to demystify HRV. We're going to look at what it actually measures. And here's a spoiler. It is not just a stress score.
No, it's so much more interesting than that. More empowering, really.
And critically, we're going to talk about how you can actually influence it. Because the research shows we can train our nervous system like a muscle. But to do that, we have to start by debunking what I think is the biggest lie in heart health.
The metronome myth.
The metronome myth. This is where everyone gets tripped up.
It just defies our normal logic.
Right. So let's define it. HRV is the variance in time between heartbeats. So if my heart rate is 60 beats per minute, simple math tells me my heart is beating once every second.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, like a perfect clock.
And if your heart actually did that, if it beat with that kind of robotic perfection, you'd be in the ICU.
Or, frankly, you might be dead.
Which is so counterintuitive because we think regularity is health. But you're saying we actually want chaos.
We want controlled chaos, or maybe a better word is responsiveness. A healthy heart is chaotic because it's constantly listening. It speeds up a little when you inhale to grab oxygen, and it slows down when you exhale to save energy.
So those tiny millisecond differences, that's the sound of the nervous system making micro-adaptations.
Exactly. It's reacting to the world, maintaining homeostasis in real time. If that variance disappears, it means the system is rigid. It's locked up.
The analogy I was thinking of is like driving a car. Even on a straight road, you're not holding the wheel perfectly still. You're making tiny adjustments left and right to stay in the lane.
That's a perfect visual. The HRV is those micro adjustments. If the wheel locks straight, no variability, you crash the second the road curves.
Okay, so let's look under the hood of that car. We're talking about the autonomic nervous system.
Right. Think of it like a huge signaling highway.
You've got the sympathetic and the parasympathetic systems. And I feel like pop culture has kind of ruined these terms for us. You hear sympathetic and you think fight or flight.
Panic. Adrenaline. Bear in the woods.
Right.
Which is true, but it's such a tiny part of the picture. One of the most important takeaways from the reading is that the sympathetic system isn't just about fear, it's about energy mobilization.
Mobilization.
I like that word. Yes. It's the gas pedal. You need to stand up from your chair. Gas pedal, you're getting pumped for a presentation. Gas pedal, it mobilizes resources to do a task.
So it's not bad, it's just go.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You need it. And then you have the parasympathetic system. The mnemonic they use, which I love, is for parachute. It brings you down.
Energy conservation, rest and digest.
Exactly. And the key insight here, this really made it click for me, is that these two are not a seesaw. It's not like one is on and the other is off.
No, that's a huge misconception. They're constantly dancing with each other. And HRV measures the flexibility of that dance. Can you slam the gas to catch a bus?
High sympathetic.
And then immediately tap the brake and settle down once you're on the bus?
If you can do that, you have high variability. But if you're stuck with your foot on the gas chronic stress, burnout. The system gets rigid. The brake stops working. The variability drops.
Which brings us back to the comparison trap. The sources mention this whoop team of pro athletes. One guy, elite, has an HRV of 200. Another guy, just as elite, is sitting at 30.
And the guy with 30 is probably freaking out, thinking, what is wrong with me?
Is the 200 guy a superhuman? Is the 30 guy on death's door?
Neither. And this is why comparing your HRV to anyone else is, it's scientifically useless. There are too many non-modifiable factors.
Let's run through those because people really beat themselves up over this.
Okay, first is age. HRV naturally goes down as we get older. It's just physics. Our arteries get a little stiffer. It's called vascular stiffening. A 20-year-old's heart and a 50-year-old's heart are just different hardware.
So you can't compare yourself to your younger self, even.
Nope. Then you have genetics. This one blew my mind. The research talked about an Olympic sprinter peak human condition with a baseline HRV in the 30s. Then you have an NFL lineman, maybe 300 pounds, cruising at 150.
That seems completely backwards.
It does, but genetics sets the range. Some people are just born with a higher idol. It's like comparing a Ferrari and a Jeep, different engine.
And sex plays a role, right?
It does. Men typically have higher HRV than women, mostly because of hormonal cycles. The luteal phase of the menstrual cycle, for example, raises body temperature and lowers HRV. So you're going to see a monthly rhythm that a man won't.
So if I can't compare myself to my friend or an influencer or an NFL player, what is a good number?
The only good HRV is a stable HRV relative to you. That's it. Compete against your own baseline. If your average is 40 and you suddenly drop to 20 for 3 days, okay, that's a signal. Pay attention. But if your baseline is 40 and your friend's is 100, irrelevant. Ignore it.
That is liberating. Okay, so we can stop chasing the 100 club. But we did establish that higher is generally better. So what can we actually influence?
2 main levers: cardiorespiratory fitness and stress load.
Fitness seems obvious. Better engine, better performance.
Right. You increase your VO2 max, your heart gets more efficient, pumps more blood per beat, resting heart rate goes down, and that gives more room for variability to go up.
But the bigger lever, maybe the trickier one, is the stress load.
It is. Because chronic stress is like a lead foot on the gas pedal. It locks the system up. And this leads us to what I think is the most fascinating part of this whole deep dive.
State change versus trait change.
Exactly. This distinction is everything.
Okay, walk us through it.
A state change is temporary, a Band-Aid. You're about to go into a big meeting, you're anxious, so you take a few deep breaths, you feel better. That's a state change.
Useful.
Yeah.
I mean, very necessary sometimes.
Absolutely, it gets you through the meeting. But it fades. The underlying system, the engine hasn't changed. Trait change is different. That's a long-term adaptation. It's building a more robust engine that just runs better on autopilot.
The gym analogy they used was perfect.
Yeah, it's great. Going to the gym once gives you a pump. You feel strong. That's a state change. It's gone in an hour.
Right.
But going to the gym for 6 months builds actual muscle. That's a trait change.
And that's what we want for our nervous system. We don't want to have to consciously breathe our way out of every little stressor. We want the system to be more resilient by default.
We want to widen our window of tolerance so that things that used to bother us just bounce off.
So how do we build that muscle? Because everyone on YouTube says, do breath work, Wim Hof, holotropic, box breathing. Is that the answer?
Well, this is where the research gets a little critical. A lot of that stuff is fantastic for state changes. Wim Hof will absolutely change your state immediately. But there's not a lot of robust science showing those specific techniques create trait changes.
So what does?
Resonance breathing.
Resonance breathing. Sounds a bit sci-fi.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's pure physics. It's breathing at a very specific frequency where your heart rate, your breathing, and your blood pressure all start to oscillate at the same speed. They synchronize.
Resonate.
Exactly. It's something called the Baroreflex, which is your blood pressure control. When you breathe at this frequency, you're basically hacking that system.
Is that the pushing a swing analogy?
That's the perfect metaphor. Think of your nervous system as a child on a swing. If you push at the exact right moment at the top of the arc, it goes higher with almost no effort. You're in resonance.
Push at the wrong time and you kill the momentum.
Right. So with resonance breathing, you're pushing the swing at the exact right moment. You maximize the efficiency of the whole system. For most adults, that magic frequency is somewhere between 4.5 and 6.5 breaths per minute.
Which is way slower than normal. We normally breathe at, what, 12, 15?
Even higher if you're stressed. And when you breathe at this slow, resonant rate, you align what's called respiratory sinus arrhythmia.
Fancy term for the heart speeding up on the inhale and slowing on the exhale.
Yes. But at resonance, that swing from high to low becomes huge. The amplitude of the wave gets bigger. You're fine-tuning the engine to run at peak efficiency.
And the source was very specific about the protocol to actually get those trait changes. It's not just doing it whenever you feel stressed.
No, you have to treat it like a workout. The protocol is 10 to 20 minutes a day.
20 minutes. That's a commitment. I can hear people saying, I don't have 20 minutes to just breathe.
It is a commitment, and the data suggests single, longer sessions are better than microdosing it throughout the day. You need that sustained time under tension to force the system to adapt.
Okay, so 20 minutes. How often?
About 4 to 6 days a week. And if you do that, the literature suggests you start seeing actual baseline shifts in the nervous system in about 8 to 10 weeks.
Wow, so it's a 2-month project, minimum.
Just like starting a weightlifting program, you
Yeah.
have to trust the process.
Now, there's a really important point about precision over effort.
Yes, crucial. You can't just try hard to breathe slowly. You need to hit your specific resonance frequency. If your rate is 5 breaths per minute, breathing at 6 won't work as well. You'll miss the push on the swing.
This is where the biofeedback tools come in.
Right. They monitor your HRV in real time and guide your breathing to make sure you're actually in that resonant state. Otherwise, you're just breathing slowly, which is nice, but it isn't the targeted training we're after.
And I have to mention the funny visual from the source. The guy admitting he does this while watching Die Hard.
I loved that.
So you can actually train your nervous system while watching Bruce Willis crawl through an air duct.
Surprisingly, yes. The physiological mechanism, the Brorflex, it doesn't care about the plot of the movie. It's the mechanical process. If you breathe at the rate, the system responds.
However,
There's always a however. Adding mindfulness to it, actually paying attention, probably improves the result. It keeps what's called top-down interference away.
let's unpack that. Top-down versus bottom-up.
Right.
This explains why we can't just think our way out of stress.
Exactly. Top-down is cognitive. It's using your brain to control your body. Talk therapy, CBT, trying to rationalize your anxiety, that's your mind fighting your mind.
A fight I usually lose.
We all do,
Yeah.
because the logic part of your brain is often offline when you're stressed. Bottom-up is the opposite. It's changing your physiology to send safety signals up to the brain. The source had that powerful story about the veteran with driving anxiety.
Yeah, that one stuck with me. He'd freeze up just walking to a car.
Right. His body was reacting to the car as a threat before his conscious mind even registered it. You can't talk your way out of that because it's a hardware problem, not a software problem.
A hardware problem. That's a great way to put it.
So by treating the nervous system directly with resonance breathing, he could calm the physiology down enough so that the mind would listen. He had to convince his body it was safe first.
That's profound. And the ultimate truth serum for whether this is all working? Sleep.
Yes. Because you can't fake regulation when you're unconscious. During the day, you can power through with caffeine and willpower. But at night, a dysregulated system shows fragmentation during sleep.
Fragmentation? What's that?
It's little bursts of sympathetic fight-or-flight energy while you're sleeping. You might not even wake up, but it pulls you out of deep restorative rest. It's why you can sleep 8 hours and wake up exhausted.
So if you're doing the breathing work, you should see that improve in your sleep data.
Yes. Less fragmentation, more deep sleep. Doing it about 30 minutes before bed seems to be highly effective. It acts as a buffer.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's synthesize this into a battle plan. What's the protocol?
Think of it as a 3-part pyramid.
What's the base?
Sleep. It's the foundation. If you're not sleeping, the nervous system can't repair itself.
Makes sense. Level 2.
Exercise. Mostly zone 2 cardio, that conversational pace, for about 120 to 150 minutes a week. That builds the physical hardware.
Be at the top of the pyramid.
Resonance breathing. This is the software update. 10 to 20 minutes a day, 4 more times a week. Find your rate and be precise.
Simple, but not easy.
Right.
And it's important to add that final reality check from the source. Don't let the data drive your mood.
Absolutely. It's a tool for awareness, not judgment. If you wake up and you feel great, but your HRV is low, trust how you feel. The number is just a data point.
It's a tool, not a master. You know, this whole conversation, it really changed how I view the body. We spend hours training our muscles, years training our minds, but we completely ignore the electrical wiring that connects them.
We do.
Yeah.
And that wiring filters absolutely everything.
And that's the thought I want to leave you with. If your nervous system is the lens through which you experience every single moment of your life, every joy, every stress, every relationship, what happens to your reality when you finally take the time to clean that lens?
Everything becomes clearer.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you on the next one.